please excuse this face. We just had a moment. Me and the Mulan palette had a real moment. And let's just say 1 point Mulan palette, 0 points Brittany. Oh, that was fun. Anyways, hi everybody, it's Brittany, and today I am going to be doing not like a panning project kind of thing, but I guess. So I have a few items in front of me in this basket. Then these are items that are within my collection that I'm kind of trying to use up and get rid of. So I'm going to go through this and I'm going to explain why I am trying to get rid of it, and I guess that's it. I'll let you know if I ever do, because I really don't like most of these is the reason why. Or I don't know. I'll get rid of them all. Anyways, so the first item, this is actually the items that I used on my face today. Well, I'll tell you which items I used on my face. Alright, so the first item that I have here is this Wet n Wild MegaCushion foundation. Now, I did put a first impressions video out where I tried out the white cream stick, and I said I was going to try it with this. No, it doesn't help. This has an issue with setting, and I have set it, like, I have done my makeup and I have set it today, but if I wipe, like, you can't see it, I can, but it leaves these lines still. It just doesn't set right. Can you see, like, down here in my chin area that it does, like, right in this area and a little bit over here, it does cling to dry patches. And it's so weird because this is I don't remember, I think that this is supposed to be a foundation that also has coconut oil in it, so it's supposed to be very hydrating, and I don't know what it is. This with my setting powder, which is the Skin Food Peach Cotton Multi-Finish, these just don't go together whatsoever. And I use this with every other foundation that I have ever used, and I never have an issue with this. It's just this cushion. For some reason, when I use this and I try to put this over it, it just clings to areas I don't want it to. I find that I don't like this foundation whatsoever. And then, like I said, it will, if I rub my face too hard, it does wear off. And I don't like that, because it's not even like I could be like intensely rubbing. Like if I were to sit here like this, like, Can you see right here? It like just rubs off. It's all over my hand now. And that just makes zero sense to me. You can't set this powder for the life of you. I don't like it. So I am trying to use this up. Now, I am going to say, if you are a cushion user, that these can take a long time, because you look in it and it does, like, if I do this, and I only get that much, it's like, oh, it's gone. No, you can see here, I like this concept about it. You can see here that I do still have product. What you have to do, little tip, if you didn't know, is you can just pull out the cushion. See? And now I have more. And you can see it all around it. So it's not like there's, barely any left. There's quite a bit left. So, let me clean. The only problem is that you end up with some messy tweezers that I then have to wash. Anyways, so this might take me a little bit to get through, but I have been consistently using this as my foundation, begrudgingly, and I'm hoping to get through this pretty quick, because I don't want this in my collection anymore. I just don't. Alright, the next item that I have, again, is another foundation. I may have mentioned it when I tried out the stick foundation originally, and this is just a tiny little sample that I received. This is the Hourglass in the Vanish stick in the shade Shell. And this is just a little bit too dark on me. This shows up a little bit too orange on my skin tone, and it's just too dark for me in general. I have used it with the other stick, and it seemed to work out pretty decently. The only problem is that I tried to blend it out with a beauty blender and I hate them. So maybe I'll try it again with a brush. I just haven't gotten around to trying this since then. But I am hoping to get rid of this because it is a tiny sample, and I don't want to waste it and throw it away. I'll just try to use it up and get it out of my collection. The next two items that I have are concealers, and this is the Instant Age Rewind. As you can see, this is almost gone, so I am just trying to use this because it is almost gone. This is actually my favorite concealer ever. I just love this one so much. And yeah, so I use this when I want my makeup to look like, I usually use this under my eyes, and then I'll take this Revolution, the Makeup Revolution one, and put it on my eyelids because I don't like this one. This one is fine for putting on my eyelids. I don't have any issues with that. That's not the problem. The problem is that I can't use this on my under eye because I do find that this creases really bad, and I don't like that. And again, it does not bode well with this one on my under eye. On my lid, I don't have an issue with it, but for some reason, if I use it, like, especially like down here on the actual lower part, like my lower lash line, I find that it, like, the powder will stick to creases in my lower lash line area, and that is weird because it doesn't do any of that to my upper lid, and I have hooded eyes. And it does also cling to the fine lines that I also have, you know, under my eye. So I don't know what it is. I just don't like this. It works fine for my upper lid. I never have any issues with creasing when it comes to my upper lid. It's just the lower lid, and I don't know why. And then this just doesn't. This doesn't, I never have an issue. This is great for using as a base when you are doing your eye makeup. I use this as an eyeshadow primer. I use this as my concealer, and I just never have any problems with this whatsoever. I am more or less just trying to use it up because it is low. That's all. And this also has pretty good, decent coverage. This one does have more coverage, so I've also been using this to like spot conceal when I have like a little blemish. So these two I'm trying to work out of my collection, and then I will be trying to use the Bye Bye Under Eye when these are gone, but I have a feeling that that one's probably going to be decluttered rather quickly because the shade and the formula it's not for me, and I can't. Concealers, I don't hoard a lot of these products, like foundations and concealers. I don't hoard them a lot, so when I use them up, it's because I genuinely just don't like them, and I know that I can just, once they move out of my collection, I'll be happy with what I have left. So, alright, the next item, which is weird for me to say considering I just said I use one of those as an eyelid primer, but I am going to try and also use this Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, and not because I don't like it, I've just never used it before, to be honest. I have swatched this on my hand, I just have never used it because I'm not really like an eyeshadow primer person. And I say that meaning I don't use an eyeshadow primer. I use a concealer. And I do have another primer that is white, but that is because when I use brighter colors, I do have to use a white. But I usually just use my concealer still. I am so pale that brighter shadows, I don't really have an issue where I need to use a white. I do find, though, that I get a lot of these in, like, sample bags, so I am trying to use them, not because I don't like them, like I said, but more because it's in my collection and I don't know what else to do with it, and I don't want to just get rid of it. I just don't. So I'm going to try and use this one. Another primer that I'm going to be trying to use, which I don't really think I'll have an issue with, is this Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For, and this is a facial primer. Again, another sample that I received. I'm just trying to go through them because I don't really use primers too often, and I found that I actually do like the Primerizer by Smashbox. So I'm trying to work through all of the primers that I currently have, and then I will buy it. I don't want to buy one until I've worked through them all, because then I feel like I will use that and not the other ones. So that's why I'm kind of just trying to get rid of the other one so I can then have an excuse to buy it. Another item that's kind of within the same realm is the MAC Prep and Prime, and this is in the lavender scent. And again, the only reason that I'm trying to use this up is because I have a lot of these. I picked them up when they were on sale. They were like $15 for a 3-pack of these, and I got like 3 of them. So I have a ton of these. This is just happens to be the lowest one that I have, so I'm trying to use it up so I can, because I pulled out 3 at a time. And then I stupidly was using them just randomly. And now I have like 3 half bottles. So now I just kind of want to get like 1 gone so I can get rid of them individually. I do find though, out of the 3, which it was lavender, rose, and coconut, that lavender is my favorite. So I will probably start using all but lavender until I'm left with only lavender, and then I'll be happy with my life. The next item that I have, because I have this little basket, sorry, is the Colourpop Brow Boss. And again, there is nothing wrong with this product in particular. The only reason I'm trying to declutter is because, first of all, I do prefer pomades over these pencils because I do have microbladed brows. So the problem that I have is that these pencils don't really serve a purpose for me, because when you are fair, and when you're fair like me, they tell you when you go in, okay, we're gonna microblade your brows, but typically people with lighter skin tone end up having more filled in brows than they do actual like brow strokes that appear on the skin. So what ends up happening is that even if I throw like a gel in my eyebrows, the only thing I have is slight patchiness at the tail end, and that's because my tail isn't real. Like, that's where most of the microblading is, but I end up with patchiness there because I don't have any hair there to protect it. And so I don't typically use these pencils to fill in because I'm not creating brush strokes. It would be impossible to create a natural brush stroke within my eyebrows because of the microblading. But with the pomades, I feel like I get a 2-in-1 where it like lays them flat, keeps them in place, and it's just filling in the lines. It's great for filling in. So I'm trying to get rid of this pencil because I don't really like using pencils anymore. The other reason is, wow, it actually came out correctly this time. The other reason I was going to say is because this color is actually, oops, I'm scared to like put it back in. This shade is in this is in the shade, what is it? Light brown. And it shows up for some reason, like it shows up really taupe here, but whenever I like add it into my actual brows, it makes them a little bit red. If you could see, it's got like this, it doesn't have like an ashy appearance to it. It has more, to me, at least in person, it has more of this like red tone to it. So that is why I don't really like the shade of this. And then for all intents and purposes, I will put it back on, but this, oh, well, no. Doesn't, it cracked. Can you see right there? It cracked. So I usually, like, that was like a surprise to me because it doesn't ever like come off. I usually have to like take it off and then rip this part off to get the spoolie out. And I do have a separate spoolie, but if it comes with a spoolie, I want to use a spoolie because then I have to reach for more brushes and I don't want to do that. I like being able to like brush and go back in. It's just a spoolie. I don't need a special one. But it aggravates me that I have to like separate it, take this out, and put it back in because it broke. And I know it's silly, but I mean, if it comes with it, I want it to work right. Okay. Plus, I don't like pencils. All right. The next item that I have in here is, I'll do this one. So it is the Winky Luxe Coffee Bronzer in the shade Latte. And I am actually not trying to pan this one necessarily. What I'm trying to do is, can you see, like, it shattered over here, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like even this out. It like keeps breaking on me and I don't like that. So, and I don't want to break it and repress it because I'm afraid if I do that it'll lose the coffee smell that I love. So I'm just kind of like being very delicate with it, but still going into this and trying to use this up until I get it to a point where it's no longer in that delicate breakage state where it'll actually lay nicely. And if I never get there, well, then I guess I'll end up panning it and it'll make me sad, because I do like this bronzer. It smells so nice, and this is a great summer bronzer for me, because with Winky Lux they have more of a where's a good place? They have more of a softer, more natural, they're very soft, I should say. Not necessarily the texture, but the pigmentation is soft. And with someone like me who's really fair and who can't go in the sun ever, like for her entire existence, because she's allergic to it, not fun. But I find that with these more like toned down, not as pigmented, light bronzers, that it works best for me because I don't go in the sun, so I never have a natural bronze to my skin. So having these shades that are more light and that you can essentially build up, hold on. See, like, you can build it up. It does take a little bit more effort to build up, but like I said, for me, because I don't go out into the sun and I don't get any tan whatsoever, this is great because then I can use a very light hand and then I have more of a natural bronze to my face. It looks like I'm not dying, but it doesn't look like I'm trying too hard like I am today with the nude beach that I tried in my first impressions video that I filmed before this. FYI. We're gonna hide that. You can't see it now. The last item that I have is this Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Fringe. I got this a while ago. I'm not even sure that this is available anymore. I broke it, which is typical for Super Shock shadows because they're very much a cream that you can just like, you can kind of just press it back together, which is just what I just did. But the reason that I'm trying to get rid of this is because this has been in my collection for a while. But I've been really liking adding this glitter to like this area of my face. And I like it because it adds like, especially like in the sun, you can see like the glitter in it, and it has like, again, that more like ethereal, fairy-esque kind of look to it, I guess. And I like it. So I've been trying to I'm going to be using this until it's gone because it is drying out, because I repressed it and it was broken, so it's already, you know, it's not in the best condition. So I'm trying to use that one up. I do have other ones that I like more as far as these Super Shock shadows go, because these ones are ideal for doing that, because the glitter on it, you can get more, especially if you can find one that is light or dark enough that it won't necessarily like stand out on your skin tone just when you hit the sun. It's just, they're just so perfect for it, because I find that you can take very little essentially. So I could go in like this. So this would be great for popping on the inner corner, or for example, putting here and just working it in a circle. You could also rub it slightly to get some of the glitters off it as well. And I find that it leaves this very delicate sheen behind. And I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it like right here? Yeah, the glitter, and it just leaves this very delicate sheen where you put it, and I don't know, I just like it. And it doesn't interfere with powders. So if you've already finished your entire face like I just did and I added it here, it's not like I'm having any issues of product moving around, which is surprising because I just said that this moves around when I touch it. But for some reason, it didn't move around when I did that. What in wild? What are you? I find that it doesn't really move product around on your face too much, and you can go soft enough to where, you know, you don't have that issue, and it sits well on top of a powder where it doesn't look crazy. So that is why I have chosen, and this one, the Fringe shade is actually a really ideal shade for me because it has the glitters in it. Yeah, well, you might not be able to see it. The glitters in it are like this champagne color, and, or I should say the shade of it is a champagne color, and then the glitters in here are very light. They're light, so they don't show to, like, head on you can't see them, and in the side profile you can see them, but only when the sun hits them. So I really do like this shade. I have a couple other Super Shock shadows that I also like for this, but I'm trying to get rid of this one before it completely dries out, and then it's useless to me. So those are the items that I am currently on the path to getting rid of. We'll see when I do my February favorites, when I go, or my February favorites, when I go through and I do my monthly favorites for the month of August. I will go through and I will show you exactly what I have left, if I have any of it left, what I've been able to use up. Maybe I got sick of something and just tossed it, because I have a feeling you might. I just don't like it. And also anything that I've kind of just went back into and decided that I wanted to use instead, I probably will. I'm not very good at being consistent. No one said I was, though. But yeah, that is all that I have for now. I just kind of wanted to show you some of the things that I'm trying to get rid of, why I don't like them. So I guess it's kind of like products I don't like, products I'm trying to, not even, because I do like most of these products. There's only a couple of them, literally. There's only like 2 of them. Because even this isn't bad. I will say that. This isn't a bad product. It's just not what I prefer. And I have so many brow products that I'm just trying to work through them. That's the only reason, literally. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you come back for more. I love you all, you beautiful unicorns. Mwah. Bye. I need to paint my nails. They're sad pandas. I'm a sad panda. Say bye, G-Dragon!